On a bright summer morning in Reno, Nevada, the city awoke to what seemed like any other day. The sun rose over the Sierra Nevada mountains, casting a golden glow across the city's bustling streets and quiet neighborhoods. People were heading to work, families were preparing for the day, and the city's famous casinos were welcoming early visitors. But beneath the calm, no one could have predicted the horror that was about to unfold. At the Grand Sierra Resort and Casino, a place known for entertainment and excitement, tragedy struck without warning. The resort, a landmark in Reno, was suddenly thrust into the national spotlight for reasons no one could have imagined. Guests and staff were going about their routines, unaware that their lives were about to change forever. In a matter of moments, a lone gunman opened fire in the parking lot, sending shockwaves through the community. The attack was swift and brutal, killing 3 innocent people and injuring several more. The city's sense of safety was shattered, replaced by fear and disbelief. Sirens echoed through the air as police and emergency vehicles raced to the scene, their flashing lights illuminating the chaos. The attack began just after 7:25 a.m., a time when the parking lot was already filling with guests and employees. In an instant, a place of leisure and anticipation was transformed into a scene of terror and confusion. People ran for cover, some seeking shelter inside the resort, others fleeing into the surrounding streets. The sound of gunfire and screams filled the air, leaving a mark on all who witnessed it. First responders rushed in, facing unknown dangers as panic spread. Paramedics, firefighters, and police officers worked together, risking their own safety to help the wounded and secure the area. Their bravery and quick action saved lives, even as the full extent of the tragedy was still unfolding. The community watched in horror and gratitude as these heroes did everything they could to bring order to the chaos. The violence unfolded in the open, everyday space of the parking lot, making the event even more chilling. Cars were left abandoned, personal belongings scattered across the asphalt, and evidence markers dotted the scene. What was once a familiar and welcoming place had become a stark reminder of how quickly life can change. The aftermath left the community grappling with shock, sorrow, and unanswered questions. In the days that followed, Reno came together to mourn and support one another. Vigils were held outside the Grand Sierra Resort, where people gathered to honor the victims and show solidarity. Strangers embraced, candles flickered in the night, and flowers were laid in memory of those lost. The city's grief was deep, but so was its resilience and compassion. The investigation into the tragedy continues, as authorities work tirelessly to piece together what happened and why. But for the people of Reno, the scars left by that morning are already deep and lasting. The city will never forget the lives lost, the bravery shown, and the way a community came together in the face of unthinkable tragedy. The terror began at the valet stand, where guests usually expect a warm welcome. The gunman approached a group near the valet, raised his weapon, and fired without warning. In seconds, confusion turned to panic as people realized the danger. The open-air valet area offered no protection, leaving everyone exposed. The gunman's actions were swift and deliberate, targeting unsuspecting individuals. The normal bustle of the morning was replaced by chaos and fear. In that instant, lives were changed forever. The calculated nature of the attack left the community shaken to its core. As the gunman aimed at the group, his weapon malfunctioned, a brief, desperate pause. Some tried to flee, but the gunman quickly fixed the issue and resumed his attack. He fired multiple rounds, hitting 5 people at the valet stand. The chaos intensified as people scrambled for safety. The gunman's resolve was chilling. He carried extra magazines, prepared for more violence. The brief hope offered by the malfunction was quickly erased. This moment underscored the randomness and brutality of the attack. The rampage at the valet was only the beginning. The community was left to wonder what could drive such relentless violence. On a night that began like any other at the Grand Sierra Resort, tragedy struck without warning. In a matter of moments, 3 innocent lives were lost. 2 individuals gunned down at the valet, their evening cut short in a place meant for celebration and leisure. The third victim, simply driving through the parking lot, became an unintended target, caught in the chaos that unfolded. The sudden eruption of violence shattered the sense of safety that so many had taken for granted. In addition to those who lost their lives, 3 others suffered serious injuries. Paramedics and emergency responders worked frantically, rushing the wounded to nearby hospitals. For these survivors, the future is uncertain. Each faces a long and difficult journey toward healing, both physically and emotionally. The investigation revealed that the victims were chosen at random, with no apparent motive or connection between them and the perpetrator. This randomness has left the community reeling, struggling to make sense of a tragedy that could have happened to anyone. The senselessness of the act makes the pain even harder to bear. Friends, family, and strangers alike gather at the scene, leaving flowers and lighting candles in memory of those lost. The disbelief and sorrow are palpable, as the community tries to come to terms with the enormity of what has happened. Families and friends of the victims are left with unimaginable grief. Their lives have been forever changed in an instant, forced to navigate a world that suddenly feels unfamiliar and unsafe. The loss is not just personal but collective, a wound felt by all who call Reno home. For the survivors, the road ahead is long and uncertain. Physical injuries may heal with time, but the emotional scars will linger. Many will need ongoing support, counseling, and the strength of their loved ones to find hope and meaning after such a traumatic event. The randomness of the violence has shaken Reno's sense of security to its core. Residents now look over their shoulders, questioning the safety of once familiar places. The city's vibrant nightlife and welcoming spirit have been overshadowed by a sense of vulnerability and loss. Each victim was more than just a name or a statistic. They were cherished members of the community, friends, colleagues, neighbors, and loved ones. Their absence leaves a void that cannot be filled, and their memories are honored by all who knew them. The pain of their loss is felt citywide. Flags fly at half-mast, and moments of silence are observed in schools, workplaces, and public gatherings. The entire city mourns together, united in grief and remembrance. In the face of tragedy, Reno stands together, united in sorrow, but also in support for those affected. The community's resilience shines through as people reach out to comfort one another, determined to heal and to honor the lives that were lost and forever changed. After the initial shooting, the gunman fled through the parking lot, still armed and dangerous. The night was filled with panic as guests and staff at the Grand Sierra Resort tried to comprehend the chaos unfolding around them. The parking lot, usually a place of calm and order, had turned into a scene of terror and confusion. People were running for cover, trying to find safety amidst the gunfire. He exchanged gunfire with a resort security guard, escalating the chaos. The security guard, doing his best to protect the guests, found himself in a life-or-death situation. The sound of bullets echoed through the night, adding to the already heightened sense of fear. The flashing emergency lights painted a grim picture of the escalating violence. In his escape, he shot and killed a driver passing by, another random victim. The driver, an innocent bystander, became another tragic casualty in the gunman's rampage. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, but it was too late. The randomness of the violence left everyone feeling vulnerable and exposed. The parking lot became a battleground as police arrived. Officers took cover behind their patrol cars, trying to assess the situation and formulate a plan. The tension was palpable as they prepared to confront the armed suspect. The once peaceful resort was now a war zone, with lives hanging in the balance. The gunman fired at officers, striking a patrol car and forcing a deadly confrontation. The officers, trained for such high-stakes situations, returned fire, determined to stop the gunman and protect the public. The exchange of gunfire was intense, each shot a reminder of the life-and-death stakes. Officers responded with lethal force, ending the rampage. The gunman was finally subdued, but the cost was high. The aftermath of the standoff was a somber scene, with law enforcement securing the area and beginning the investigation. The night's events had left a mark on everyone involved. The violence put countless lives at risk, including those of first responders. EMTs and police worked tirelessly to aid the injured and secure the scene. Their bravery and quick actions undoubtedly saved lives, but the emotional toll was evident on their faces. The gunman's desperate attempt to escape only deepened the tragedy. His actions left a trail of destruction and heartbreak. The pursuit through the parking lot was a harrowing chase, with officers determined to prevent further loss of life. The day's events left Reno reeling from shock and loss. The community came together in the aftermath, holding vigils and memorials to honor the victims. The sense of unity and support was strong, but the pain and grief were palpable. The tragedy had left an indelible mark on the city, a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of coming together in times of crisis. Law enforcement responded within minutes, a critical factor in preventing further tragedy. Officers arrived under fire, immediately engaging the gunman in a shootout. Their quick action contained the violence to the parking lot, sparing those inside the resort. No officers were shot, though one sustained minor injuries from glass fragments. The coordinated response involved multiple agencies, showcasing their training and bravery. The investigation was handed to the Sparks Police Department for impartiality. The rapid, unified effort protected countless lives. Law enforcement's courage under pressure was instrumental in ending the threat. Reno's first responders are being hailed as heroes for their decisive actions. The motive behind the attack remains a mystery. Investigators have found no connection between the gunman and his victims. The shooter, still in critical condition, has not been questioned. The randomness of the violence has left the community unsettled. Authorities are searching for answers in the gunman's background, but so far, none have emerged. Reno is left grappling with senseless violence and unanswered questions. City and state leaders quickly addressed the tragedy, offering comfort and gratitude. Mayor Hillary Sheev and Governor Joe Lombardo praised first responders and called for unity. Police chiefs provided clear updates, confirming the lack of motive and the bravery of officers. Their calm leadership helped steady the community. The unified response from officials reassured Reno in its darkest hour. Their words and actions have guided the city through shock and grief. Reno is united in mourning, holding vigils and supporting the victims' families. The community's gratitude for first responders is overwhelming. The tragedy has sparked reflection on the fragility of life and the importance of resilience. Conversations now focus on healing, strength, and supporting one another. Reno's spirit remains strong even in the face of loss. The city moves forward together, honoring the memory of those lost. In grief and gratitude, Reno stands united, determined to heal.